Seven method on create, on start, on resume, on pause, on stop, on stop, on restart, on destroy.
Okay. So when on restart will call?
Sorry,
When on restart will be called?
on destroy. Yeah,
On restart will be called. On restart will be called.
when on restart will be called, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So on restart, like when there are, for examples, we have a two activity, and when we A and B, when we go to A to B, and on the times first A activity method will be called on pause, and B activity method called on create, on start, on resumes, and then A activity called on stop method. And when click on the back button or back button, so on that times B activity called on pause, on pause, on stop, on destroy, and A activity called on restart, on restart, on restart, on start, on resume.
Okay. Okay, fine. So, can you tell me what are this how can you like I have given you an Android code. So how can you reduce the APK size too high big? I asked you to reduce the APK size. So what are the ways you will start in reducing APK size?
Yes, yes. So for that, we can use prop guard rules, and there are proper we can set shrinking enable true, and yeah, so we can use a prop guard for the reducing APK size,
So that is
and
let's consider that has been done already in existing app. So what is the other way? What is the other approach you'll see? That will be the last developer would have done mistake.
so apart from the apart from the prop guard, uh, uh, we write we apply reusability of the code. We should write the code like this. We can apply reusability.
Okay. Okay. What are the dependency injection? Have you used dependency injection library? Any dependency injection library?
Yes, I have used Held and Dagger too. I use.
Okay. Can you tell me what are like any disadvantage you think dependency in the usage of dependency injection library?
Uh, Dependence in yeah advantage is that we can make object, and that object we can use on the whole project,
Hmm.
so with the help of annotation, and it's a like it's a we can manage easily, and for and yeah, main advantage is that only once we can object only once, and that object we can access on the whole project.
Okay. What is the disadvantage? So have you feel like this
uh
is total advantage? What is the
yeah
disadvantage?
Disadvantage is we can say it's increase the APK size when we use any dependency. So it will increase the size of the APK. For examples, if we make a object any class, so we are using dependency injection. So uh, and project is small. and any class we make an object using the dependency injection, so that is used only one place. So for that condition, it is a it's not a good way, but we any project that use more times in the project, so this type condition dependency is a better. Like we can use a object anywhere. No need to make a object. No need to make object if any other place require. So disadvantage, so I can say like it's increase the efficacy when, because we use
How much? Okay.
at dependence.
Okay. So for the background operation, what to use? Making background operation.
Background operations like coroutine.
Use coroutine.
Yeah, coroutine.
So
I
how
use
coroutine is
coroutine.
different from traditional threads?
Yeah, coroutine is different. Like it's a work on the thread. We can say it's a thread. Yeah, it's not a thread work, but it's work like a thread, and it work over the thread. Like coroutines work under the scope, and which thread we want to execute coroutine. So we can set the we can also set thread like dispatchers. For examples, if we want to we want to execute coroutines on the main thread, like UI thread. So there we will use a scope like lifecycle scope, and thread we can also set like dispatcher.man in the coroutine. And if you want to run coroutine in the background thread, so we can set a dispatcher dot input output dispatchers dot default. So so many thread available here: dispatcher dot input output, dispatcher dot man, and dispatcher dot default, and also multiple scope available like coroutine scope, global scope, life
Oh, that's
cycle
fine.
scope, and
No, that's I
we
understand.
want all
Yeah, like
yeah.
how it is it more faster as compared to traditional threads, or how it has advantage over traditional threads? I want to know mostly.
So, sir, please repeat again.
So how it has advantage over traditional threads and callbacks?
Uh, yeah, coroutine.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So, like, for if we perform in traditional thread background task, so when we get a output, so it's a difficult to set on the main thread. For the main thread, we need to handler for the managing these things, right? But in case of the coroutines, we have like we can easily implement these things, like we can set dispatchers and switching, context switching. We can apply.
Okay, got it. Yeah. Okay. So what is difference between a global scope and coroutine scope?
Yeah, global scope is alive. It's until a project is alive. A global scope is like live is until a project alive, and coroutine scope like after completing the coroutine task, it will be destroyed.
Okay. Okay. How do you handle memory leaks in Android? So especially whenever dealing with like long-lived objects like context and views.
Yeah. So memory leak, for the memory leak, so we should make an object like unused sorry like we should make object that should be used, or and then if we make any connection or the other things, then and we can use a final block for releasing to them. And apart from that, we should make a object like and yes, sir. If we make any object or any want to connection, so we should release also them.
Can you tell me some of the 100 security best practices you have followed?
Yeah. So for the security Android app, like in the API levels, we can use authentication token, and sensitive data we can store in local database, and we can use a cryptography. And apart from that, we can use apply prop guard also we can use.
Okay, so you will use ProGuard. Like, what are the best practices mostly? This is the best practices you followed?
Best practices we should use cryptography. We should use cryptography, and apart from that, if we store any key or value, so we can store in the in breakpoint. Yeah, we use for the security. So these point I use.
Okay. So have you used serializable?
Yes, I use
So how you use serializable or parcelable?
serializable use.
So why you use serializable? Why not parcelable? What is the advantage of serializable? You are using serializable.
Yeah, serializable and parcel levels we can both we can use if we want to send data one activity to the another activity. So object type data. So we with the help of serializables we can send it our object convert in stream format, and then on the receiver side we deserialize that object. And parse level also parse level and the difference parse level is compared to serializable is a fast. Yeah.
But you told you prefer serializable. Then if parcelable is fast, then why prefer
No,
serializable?
earlier both use.
Okay. Okay. Uh, okay. Can you tell me so how can you share data between two? Is it possible to share data using broadcast between two applications?
Yes, we can share the data. Yeah, it's possible.
How we can do it?
Shared broad. Yeah, I did not, I didn't do this, but I can share there is option in the broadcast receiver, the broadcast. So what we can share, but I didn't unable to recall in this times, but
Okay, fine, no
we
issue.
can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, do you know what is looper in Android? Hello.
Yeah.
Looper.
Looper. Uh, looper. It is used in the handler, right?
Yeah.
That looper, or you are talking
Yeah, that looper.
another?
Yeah.
Another. So looper uh, it's I'm unable to explain, sir, but I know looper use in the handler.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay. Can you tell me like different launch modes in Android?
yeah. So in Android, I have a 4 launch mode. By default is standard and single instance, single top, and single task.
Okay.
So yeah, so standard by default is standard, and every times will create new instance.
Yeah, I got it.
In case of
What is the
this,
difference between
is
single task and single instance?
single task and single instance, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So single task, for example, so we have a 4 activity. A1, A2, A3, and A4, and we set a single task on A2, and we move A3 and A4, and again we want to launch A2. So A3 and A4 activate will pop out, and remaining A1 and A2. So it will work like this.
Okay. So
This is a single.
yeah, I got it. So
Sorry.
you know what is room database, right? You have used room database.
Yes, I use.
So what is different in room database and SQLite?
So, sorry, say again, your voice is
Room
breaking.
database and SQLite.
Yeah, room database is abstraction layer over the SQLite database, and it's easy to implement and manage. Manage is so.
Okay.
And for the implementing room database, we need to, there are 3 components like entity and DAO and database object. So, we will use for the entity, it's a table, and we annotate @entity, and DAO is a data access object. It is an interface. We annotated DAO annotation, and here we write we can write method, some prod method, and another is database object. So we create a database object, and with the help of database object, we can insert, update, delete. Performs that available in the DAO.
Okay. What is a sealed class? Can you tell me what is a sealed class?
Yeah, sealed class is used for the in Androids. It's manage the state. Like we can use like this for the managing state, loading, success or error, and for the implementing sealed class, we use a sealed keyword before the class, and it is it must be, all classes must be in same file.
Okay. Can you tell me difference between a volatile and synchronized?
Synchronize one thread, synchronize if make any method synchronize, so any thread access only at a times. But sorry sir, volatiles, I